All right, joining us here on the 900th episode of In the Circle of D1 Softball. It's an honor to be joined by the reigning National Player of the Year in college softball. Of course, also won the Honda Sport Award given to softball best softball players last year. And of course, will be leading the Texas Tech Red Raiders this year. I speak of NiJaree Canady joining us here on the 900th episode of In the Circle of D1 Softball. Just add that one to your resume, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, what's it been like getting to know your teammates? There's a lot of new faces on this Texas Tech team. So, what has that been like getting to know them and getting to know the coaching staff?
Yes, definitely fun. Especially just coming from a team where a lot of people are new. You don't really know how you're gonna gel, how you're gonna like just how you're gonna get along in like team culture. So a lot of the fall was just yes, it was a lot like learning on the softball field and learning different things, but it was also just getting to learn each other and the coaching staff and just seeing how we gel off the fields. But I feel like especially coming this season, I think we did a really good job of that and just all getting along whenever that was like going to football games together or going to haunted houses or team parties. I think we all meshed really well.
Do you consider yourself a vocal leader, a leader by example? And then who are some of the other players that have stood out as leaders?
Yeah, so I think I'm becoming more of a leader just as I get older, more vocally. But I still think I'm more of a lead from example type of person. But actually, our one of our seniors, Demi, she's a very good like vocal leader, and she has no problem saying what needs to be said and just taking charge that way. And so, like she sends out kind of what we're wearing for the days and like scrimmages and things like that. So she's definitely who we look to. Along with Chloe. I feel like we all joke around if we don't know what's going on, we all kind of message Chloe. So
That's good. Is she like the one of the comedians on the team? Who's the one that can crack a joke in a moment's notice among the roster?
I'd say definitely both of our catchers, Anya and Vic, they're both funny. And then also Katie Lott. She cracks a couple jokes. So
You got to have a couple of those on your team to be, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Uh, Mentioning the pitching staff, you mentioned Chloe. You got three freshmen as well on your pitching staff. Describe being and getting to know this pitching staff that you're helping mentor in some cases, but also they're growing. You've been in those shoes. What's your thoughts on each pitcher you've got there?
Yeah, they're all disgusting actually. And we scrimmaged yesterday and just being able to get in the box and compete against them, it's amazing. I think we all like kind of like complement each other too. We have a lot of lefties on the staff. We have people who go, I'm primarily up in the zone, so it's nice to have like teammates who go down and can throw changeups and lefties that can come in on righties. So I think we all just complement each other really well. And I think it'll be hard for like other teams just to scout that way just because if you have so many different pitchers that do different things, it's hard to just sit to one plan.
There's about nine freshmen on the roster. You can relate to being a freshman. You succeeded at a high level in your freshman year. What's the advice you give them? Maybe where some of the questions they may ask you for some advice?
Yeah, I'd say especially your freshman year. Honestly, all of your whole 4 years of softball, I feel like it's a lot of ups and downs, but especially your freshman year, you're gonna have some high highs and some low lows, especially like right off the bat to just adjusting to the college level. So I'd say just stick to it. Just it like it gets hard at times and you'll question if you have what it takes to play at this level. And honestly, even upperclassmen, they have those same feelings too. And it's a lot. I don't know. I just remember doubting myself a lot at that when I was a freshman, just wondering if I could pitch at this level, but just trying to stay in the grind, just keep working.
How do you overcome that doubt? Is it a game? Is it a moment where that doubt goes away? How do you overcome that as a young player?
Honestly, I don't really think it ever goes away. I feel like it's just learning how to battle it and all of college athletics, like it's hard. I don't think any college athletes ever said it's easy. So I'd say it's just one putting in the work. If you put in the work every day, then that helps you succeed. But also just trying to trust in yourself as much as possible. And there's I don't know, at least for me, there's always that little voice in the back of my head. But just knowing you put in the work, your teammates trust you, your coaches trust you. So I'm just going at it.
Coach Glasgow, when I talked to him, says you're one of the hardest working people he's ever met and seen and coached. there. Just talk about that work ethic that you have, and does that come from perhaps that little doubt, if you will, like hey, I got to keep working there because nothing's guaranteed. Is that talk to me about that work ethic?
Yeah, well, one, I'm honored he said that. He's coached a lot of people, so I'm happy he said that about me. But I feel like it just comes from the way I was raised and just always wanting to be the one of the best. And I'm still obviously still striving to do that. And honestly, I'm halfway through my college career already. I'm 2 years in, so just realizing I have 2 more years to live out the dream and just wanting to leave it all out there. This is like college is supposed to be the best 4 years of your life. So I just want to go out there, leave it all out on the field. And I have 2 more years to just show what I can prove. So every day I want to just take steps and big or small steps and just try to achieve everything.
What's it been like getting to know Coach Archibald there and working with her as the pitching coach?
Yeah, it's been fun. I was actually just texting her today about the scrimmage yesterday and what like things we can improve on and things like that. But she's really knowledgeable. She's been like around softball and college softball for a long time. So just being able to pick up things she's learned. I feel like we're really similar too. We're both kind of perfectionists, so we both want to try to throw the best pitch possible and yeah, just working. And we spent a lot of time this fall together, just figuring out pitch sequences and things like that. So I think it'll be fun.
Now, you mentioned things you work on. I couldn't help but to look when I checked your bio as I was prepping for the interview. There's a photo of you there holding a baseball bat, holding a softball bat there. And I've been told, Coach Glasser is telling me that you're swinging the bat pretty well. You're going to swing the bat a lot this year. Take me through that process there of becoming a two-way player. I mean, you've always been a two-way player in high school. Didn't swing as much, obviously, at Stanford, but you are going to play more offensively here at Texas Tech. Which take me through that process of learning from one of the best hitting minds in Coach Glasgow.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the biggest place I've grown this year. Not only like, of course, I've learned a lot from Coach Tara, but just being able to pick Coach Glasgow's mind, just offensively. He spent a lot of hours on me this fall, and that's again where kind of like the doubt for myself came in that we were just talking about, just wondering if I could hit at this level and things like that. But I feel like we put in a lot of work. I'm feeling confident. I feel like it's always, I don't know, season's always, you don't really know what to expect. So of course, I'm waiting for the first couple of games to see. But Coach Glasgow feels really confident. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to trust him and just keep grinding. But yeah, I'm excited to get some swings in this year.
You told me you've got a lot of power there. Is that accurate? How would you describe your at bats, if you will, and your kind of type of hitter you are?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get the ball in the air. I will say that. I definitely want the ball in the air. Want a lot of hopefully knock on wood, get some home runs this year. But yeah, that's the goal. And Coach Glasgow, he's a really big power guy too. So I feel like a lot of our hitting workouts and a lot of our groups, they're kind of based on what you do. So we have like a speed and slapper group, and then like we have power groups. And Coach Glasgow really works with the power hitters and just how to elevate the ball, how to and how to change the game and with one swing.
What's it like being around Coach Glasgow there? I know that was one of the main reasons you came there to Texas Tech and learned from him, and certainly you've gotten to see his personality side. What's it been like getting to be coached by him, and certainly not only from an offensive standpoint, but just overall?
Yeah, so he's definitely, we all joke around. He's kind of like a grandfather. Like him. Oh, and Miss Vicky, his wife. Oh, they're both just incredible. She'll make us cookies. They're the best cookies I think I've ever, these chocolate best cookies I've ever had. But yeah, he just embraced us all. We've had like Christmas parties at his house and things like that. And honestly, he's as competitive as it gets. Like he wants to win every game, and he wants to put his best foot forward every single game and just win and compete. And he wants the same for us. Like he knows softball's about ups and downs, but all he asks is that we compete every single pitch.
He's coached some of the greatest players in the history of the sport, both in the collegiate level and the pro level. He's coached the Cat Ostermans, the Monica Abbotts of the world. How much of that do you pick his brain about? Do you ask him about that? Do you like kind of say, "Hey, what would they like? What can I do to kind of take it to that level as well?" Is that something you pick his brain about?
A little bit, but I definitely want to get in more to that. We talk with him. I've talked a lot of just about like hitting, and he likes to compare like major league players a lot. So we're always pulling up film, comparing my film, watching like other players' film, things like that.
You mentioned hitting. Who's been the hitter that's impressed you the most on the team? Or you're watching batting practice, you're like, "Woo, hey, I want to hit, but I'm not going to be able to hit like her." Like who stood out? Who has stood out to you?
Yeah, so I remember one of our first practices actually. Lauren Alridge, she'll put some over the scoreboard. That girl, she can hit. Also, Alana Johnson, we call her 5 for 5 Johnson over here for a reason. She can rank.
That's got to excite you too. Be playing, having those teammates around you there. What are they? What's the most common question they've asked you that maybe they've as they get to know you there, and as far as just learning from the sport of softball? Because you've had a lot of success in your young career. Is there anything that they've asked that What's the most common question they might ask you about in softball?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. I
Or
think we've gotten to know each other so much. I think actually we just had a camp, I want to say last week, and I think the best question I got from a camper was just how it was like just playing in the World Series. So that was fun. And obviously we've had a couple players who have been there on this team, like Katie Law and Lana, of course. But I don't know. I feel like it'll be fun to take to see if this team can make it too. And I think with the talent we can. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but I definitely think we have a shot.
you've been to the World Series, you know what it's like, what it takes to have a type of team to get to Oklahoma City. What are some of the things this team has that you like that you think could get there? What are some things that you think are going to be keys for this team to achieve those goals?
Yeah, I think we're a team of like hard workers, honestly. So, we'll have a Sunday off or we'll have an off day, and all 22 of us will be in the cages still working and getting better. And we'll have the machine set, and we're still just trying to find ways to get better. And even the freshmen, which some it's obviously hard to adjust to this level and just the work ethic you have to put in. But I feel like our freshmen do a really good job of keeping up and also hitting on their own, and not only that, but pitching on their own. So they'll grab a 9 ball net or a manager on a day off, and they'll throw a bullpen, which I think is really impressive. So I just think we just work hard and we grind, and you can tell that we want it.
There's a lot of excitement around Texas Tech softball, and you're a part of that reason. I believe it's record season tickets at Texas Tech and everything. And I remember back in July when you did the interview with ESPN, you talked about one of the things you want to do is grow the game of softball, that passion you've seen in women's basketball, and you've seen that. Do you sense that excitement at Texas Tech? That's not something that's accustomed in Lubbock from a softball standpoint. Have you sensed that as being on campus?
Yes, I have. I feel like when you hear about like Texas Tech athletics, it's obviously a lot of football, obviously, and rightfully so, and a lot of baseball. Our baseball team's historically really good. But honestly, I just want that same shift to happen for softball, and I feel like we have the pieces, we have the players, we have the coaching staff. So I feel like the fans will come, and I'm really excited to see these first couple games and see how what the turnout is.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz, even like where you're going to be playing at the NFCA Leadoff Classic. There's a lot of tickets been sold for that. Is that what you had in mind when you mentioned that quote to ESPN? That just struck me because I really appreciate somebody's trying to look out for the game and grow the game, the interest there. Is that the examples that you're giving, talking about as far as making the game even bigger?
Definitely, yeah, and obviously not only just for Texas Tech too. I hope nationwide that more people are going to softball games, and just I hope Oklahoma City has to add, I don't know, tens of thousands more stands just because so many people are paying attention and watching the game. So I hope, of course, that we're sold out, but I hope everyone else across the nation is sold out.
Is that why I've noticed you've taken some speaking engagements? You mentioned camps. I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot of demand for you, especially with all the stuff over the off season. Is that part of the responsibility that you've taken to earn yourself to say, hey, I will help be one of the ambassadors of the sport and show the way for the young people?
Definitely, yes. I feel like softball's giving me so much. So just be able to give back in any way and just leave the sport better than I found it. I feel like that's everyone's goal right now. So and we've seen it happen with women's basketball and sports like that. So I feel like softball can follow that example.
What inspired you to play softball as a youngster?
Yeah, so I kind of when I started, I just wanted to play as many sports as possible. So I did softball, basketball, and those are the two I kind of played throughout high school. But honestly, my parents just put me in a lot of things. I did baseball, I did tennis for a little bit of track, just honestly just a lot of things. And basketball and softball were kind of the two that stuck, and then I eventually picked softball. So I don't know. I think I just got thrown in a bunch of things and whatever stuck.
I think it stuck well. I think you made the
Yeah.
right choice. Although you're from Topeka, Kansas, of course you got to play basketball. I feel like everybody in that state plays basketball there. Did you have athletes you looked up to?
Yeah, so actually I really like Kobe Bryant, like looking up to him and not only just softball wise, but I don't know, I just looked at people's work ethic and things like that. And everyone always talked about just how much he worked. So definitely him. But honestly, I just liked watching a bunch of sports. We grew up in a sports household too. My brother, he plays football at Cal Berkeley. So we just all grew up around sports.
That's right. He's on the Bears football team. How competitive is that to have a brother as just as great of an athlete as you are, to him playing football? You're the oldest one. Let's point that out. How competitive did it get with you two?
It gets pretty competitive. Definitely in high school too, just always going against each other. But even in college too. So we'll always crack some jokes. If I throw a wild pitch or something that goes over the catcher's head, he'll send me a video of it laughing. So yeah.
This that's pretty good. That had to help you though get to where you're at as an athlete and achieve what you have. Is that almost internal competitiveness from your brother? I would imagine.
Oh yes, we definitely never wanted to lose to each other in anything. So definitely where I get some competitiveness from.
Describe the rush of pitching in a big game like the World Series, like you have. You've pitched in so many big games to this point. What's it like to be in that level where everybody's watching and you're locked in and the hitters are almost like, we don't know what to do with her? What's that like to be in the zone like that?
It's definitely a rush, I will say. Actually, and it's completely different from like obviously bullpens and things like that, but it affects you more than kind of you think. So actually, I was talking to Coach Archibald about this yesterday, but when I from bullpen just to games, like my speed goes up quite a bit. So then it's just part of it's literally just adjusting to my speed difference and how much harder I'm throwing in games. So I almost have to like my change my mechanics a little bit just because I start like I do different things just because I'm pushing off with my legs harder. And I just bring that up because we were that's what we were talking about right now, just how to make adjustments quicker. But definitely you can feel the crowd, you can feel the excitement, which is a good thing. You want to feel that as an athlete. But yes, it's amazing. But yeah.
How much video do you watch of yourself and your mechanics and just the way you throw, or even now that you're swinging the bat? How much are you a big video person, a study? Because I know some pitchers are like that, some don't. Some rather just kind of talk it out with their coaches. How do you handle it?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit of both. There's some games where if I know I did bad and I know it's not my best outing, I don't even want to look at that film because I know it can get better. But honestly, a big thing I got into last year was watching like good like watching highlight videos of myself and trying to prime my brain into that. And also Coach Glasco actually, he's a big fan of that too, just watching where you do really good and trying to prime your brain to do that. Of course, we want to watch the not so good stuff too, just see what we're doing wrong. But just as important is just watching your successes and seeing where you can just seeing how good you can be and where you what you can do at your best.
You wear 24. Was that because of Kobe, or what motivated you in the number you wear?
Yeah, so that was just a family number actually. My dad wore it, my uncles wore it, so I just kind of it I was just given it and stuck to it.
Follow the family tradition there. There you go.
Exactly.
What was the moment when you, or if maybe a freshman, when you, or whenever, that you're like, I belong at this level. I could succeed at Division I softball.
Yeah, I want to say we Stanford, we went to play at Georgia actually. And I remember that was my first kind of big game. I remember we had a doubleheader against them. Our first game we ended up beating them. Elena Vaughter, she had the ball, pitched amazing. And we beat them, and then we played them the next game. And I remember that night I was wondering if I was gonna play against them, if I was gonna pitch against Georgia. And obviously they're known for their offense. Like Georgia can hit really well. Coach Glasco coached there actually. But I remember that morning they said I was gonna pitch, and I remember being nervous, and my dad came out for that game, so that was exciting. But we ended up beating them. And I remember that was my first kind of ranked win. Of course, like Georgia's really good. They're always in the conversation. So I remember it was definitely that game.
This year, you're guaranteed to at least play once at the Oklahoma City because the Big 12 championships will be in Oklahoma City. What's it like to be now in the Big 12 with Texas Tech? Ironically, you got some some former players that you played against in the Pac-12 that also came to the Big 12, like the Ruby Malins who's now at Oklahoma State, as an example. Arizona State, Utah, who you know very well, is also in the Big 12. So, just what's that like to be in a new conference in the Big 12, and of course being with Texas Tech, but playing some of the new schools you're going to be facing this year in the Big 12?
Yeah, it's definitely fun and exciting. And I'm excited to play a little closer to home too. We'll play KU at KU this year. So that'll be really exciting to kind of go home, play them. I live about 30 minutes from Lawrence, if that far. So that'll be fun. And just yeah, seeing new competition and just playing teams I haven't played before. It'll be exciting.
All right, you just stole my question. I was going to ask you which one are you looking forward to? Road trips, like that's the obvious one. That's going to be a stressful ticket demand though that day, that
Ex-
weekend, isn't it?
ex- Exactly. I think I got my first ticket request in like October. I was like, I don't even know. Like I'll try, but I'm not sure. But so we'll
Oh,
see. But yeah, that'll definitely be a homecoming sort of game for me. So that'll be exciting.
have you ever played there at Kansas, or have you been before?
Yeah, so my freshman year we went there and I played them once, but then I remember the Sunday game got canceled because of the cold, and the poor California girls, the cold was not for them, which I wasn't a fan of the cold either. It was really cold that day. But
I think we're all right now not fans of the cold right now. Everybody in this country right now, we're all freezing in some capacity there, to say the least. You mentioned you've been to football games at Texas Tech basketball. Just take me through it. What's it like being a student athlete at Texas Tech on campus? Because I think that's kind of underrated, to a lot of people from the outside. They have a great football program, great atmosphere. Their basketball team's having a great year this year. Baseball, you mentioned, has been very historic there. What's it been like going to attending some of those sporting events?
yeah, it's definitely fun. So we actually all just went to a track meet together, and we saw like Olympian track runners. Men's track, I want to say, won the national championship 2 years in a row, I think. So just being surrounded by just so many amazing athletes and going to so many sporting events are insane. The football games are packed. It's almost there's like standing room only. It's insane, but it's honestly just incredible. I think that athletic department does a really good job here.
You mentioned track. Every time I think of track, I think of the Olympics. You've played on the U.S. national team, and gone to Japan with the U.S. teams in the recent past. Is the Olympics a goal? Is that something? Or is that too far away? I mean, is that something you think about as far as perhaps Los Angeles and representing there and playing softball in those Olympics in 2028?
Yes, it's definitely a goal of mine. Definitely in the far off future, but honestly today I'm just worried about more season and just want to do good this year. Not only that, but just just trying to grind. And of course I'm still my big college goal is just to still win a national championship. So I'm still holding up for that one.
You're at Texas Tech, one of the most famous alums at Texas Tech's Patrick Mahomes. He's done a lot for the university. Have you met him yet? Do you want to meet him? And if you did meet him, what would be a question you've asked him?
Yeah, so I actually did meet him. I want to say my first week on campus, he was here and I signed to him and Adidas. So I'm actually a Patrick Mahomes athlete. So which is really cool. So we met with him, spoke with him a little bit, took photos and all of that. And actually it was funny. I want to say he had a scrimmage the day before, flew in on a private jet to meet all of us, stayed in Lubbock for like 4 hours, and then I think he had like practice the next day. So then he had to leave. So he wasn't here too long, but just an amazing person and got to meet him a little bit.
You made the effort, though. Hey, look, he
He
made the effort.
did.
His alma mater. And I know he's come to a lot of sporting events. All right, you and Coach Glasgow have got to do me this favor. Then you got to invite him to come and throw out a first pitch at some point when his football season. That has to happen at some point.
We'll see. Yes, I know he's been really involved with baseball just because he played baseball, of course. But we'll see if we can get this softball.
I mean,
That might be a far stretch though.
oh, I don't know about that. With the way with you playing and your team, if the type of year, all the buzz. I mean, that's not. I think that could happen. I think he's smart to know that that's going to be a fun team to watch. And that's my last question to you. Tell fans out there, especially Texas Tech fans, because there's a lot of fans this year that probably are going to go to Texas Tech games that haven't watched the softball game before, just to either see you and see your team and everything. What message would you like to give them and what to expect this year?
Yeah, I'd say just to expect a team that wants to go out there and just leave it on the field. I feel like all of fall, all of when we've just been training, scrimmaging each other. I'm tired of facing our pitchers. I want to face someone else. But I think just expect a team that go out there and have fun and leave it all on the field.
Well, it'll get going soon enough, soon in Clearwater to start the season. And of course, it's going to be a great season up in Lubbock. Tickets in high demand, as highest as ever been in program history. Listen, I know you've got a lot on your plate as a student athlete, getting ready for the season and all the other stuff. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here on In the Circle and D1 Softball as our 900th guest. I know that's going to be right up there, right there with Player of the Year the plaques there. We'll send you a plaque of some sort if we can at some
Thank
point.
you.
But we'll cross paths, I'm sure, during the season. Hey, stay healthy, and thank you for talking to us, and thanks for everything you're doing for the sport here, and getting a few minutes with us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Awesome. Thank you so much.